Hello everyone, thank you all so very much for joining in. I'm so happy that you're here for this video. It's always amazing when you started something from seed and that you're able to see the entire process and that you're able to harvest something. I already have one over here. Today we're going to be doing a taste test of the tomatoes that I have in my backyard and some from the front yard. You all have heard a lot about these tomatoes from Lucy destroying one of them to it not being entirely destroyed. It came back to one that almost died, to the entire process of how I turn this area, which is just pure concrete. This is not planted on any ground. It's planted on concrete with some dirt above. You have all of that entire process documented here on YouTube and also on TikTok. But today we're not talking about any of that. Today we're just going to enjoy the fruit of our labor, because you all have been here from inception, from the time I was soaking the seeds that planted these tomatoes. You all were on here on TikTok in January. I posted that video. You can go back and look at it if you are interested, or if you're on TikTok, or if you would like to join TikTok. And also, if you have remember, like I planted it in. Also, there was a video of that planting it in on TikTok and on Instagram. Some pictures. Just the entire process has been well documented. And today we're just going to be taste testing some of them. I'm going to tell you which one I like, a bit of the background of each tomato, and also which is my favorite tomato, which one is probably my worst tomato. They all taste amazing, but there's obviously going to be one that's going to be just a little bit above everything else, and there's going to be one that probably is, kind of forgettable as well. Well, let's get straight into picking some tomatoes. Inside my basket here, I have one that fell from the tree. This is one of a type of tomato called the Rio Grande. I'm going to show you the plant now. The plant is not doing very well. This one I had left to ripe, and it got so ripe that it just fell from the tree. So this one's going to be perfectly ripe, but we'll see the other ones that we have on the tree that's pretty much dying at this point. Okay, so you all know that I like to use these bags that you can get in prayers and whatnot for my tomatoes. This one is broken off as well. Yeah, this tree is not doing very well. But the fruit on it remains fine. It's a bit crusty. There's some life still in the main vine. We have one or two of these. This plant didn't do very, very well, this Rio Grande. But it's a new variety that I'm trying. First time growing the Rio Grande. And Rio Grande just means big river. So that just falls off the vine. Really happy with that. A little bit of a black mark on top there, but the fruit itself looks really, really good. Over here I have the moneymaker tomato. This one is named the moneymaker for how much tomatoes it produces. So obviously you can make a lot of money if you want to do it commercially. There we go. I'm coming in with the nippers this time so that we can be a bit more precise in taking out this tomato. There we go. Up. It got the foregut cushion, so it's fine. There we are. This is the first one that's started to ripe, so it's well ready. You have some more that's ready to go, like these are perfectly ripe as well. I'll pick these afterwards. It's not a full-on harvest, it's just really just harvesting what I need for the taste testing. Okay, so over here I have the tomato that Lucy had trampled. She had dug up the entire thing there, and I just had to take one of the shovels and just kind of pile back on dirt so it will come back and we'll have something. Over this plant itself is the small cherry tomato. That's just the name on the packet, so that's a very ambiguous name. That's just the name that I got. It's an heirloom cherry. I will do some more research so I can find an actual proper name for it, because I think it has to have a name that's more specific than just small cherry. I'm not going to take these because these still need to ripen a bit more. I'll take this one over here. I don't need to worry too much because it's a smaller one. So this is really nice and ripe compared to this one over here. Really cool. Okay, I'll take this one just on here. There's another one over there. I'll see if I get a bit more. Oh, baby, compared to these others. Now on this side here I also have a small cherry, but none of these small cherries are like properly ripe to give me a good enough sense of the taste itself, so I'll just be using that one that I got before. Here we're moving on to the regular cherries. That's a bumblebee. Okay, try not to die. Okay, so this is regular cherry. Okay, so we're taking out this entire truss of the full-on cherries. Okay, I have the basket on it. Hopefully it catches. Oh yeah, caught on the tree, so we're fine. Still, I think this one cracked. and some ants got into it, so that's why one of these is a bit dried up. There we go. But how pretty is that? Just want to get it to focus. Yep. How Garden of Eden perfect is that? Can't wait to taste this. These I've tasted all of these before. I'm just going to tell you all my reactions in real time. Okay, so we're in the front garden now, and we're grabbing one or two of these Romas. The Roma tomato is a Italian paste tomato. Very famous, of course, making things that Italians would generally eat. So your pasta marinara, the marinara side being a sauce, and usually this kind of tomato is used as the base for that sauce. If I can get this to balance, that'd be amazing. Cool. There we are. So again, a parasite bag or sweets bag to protect it, just so that it can ripen perfectly on the vine. Nothing better than an organic tomato grown 100% organic that is ripened on the vine, entirely on the vine. Takes its time and ripens. You know, I'm going to be kind to the tree. Take it off, and there we are. Perfectly ripened Roma. So ripe it's starting to get wrinkly on it. You could almost save the seeds from this. Well, you could. Roma. I'll just take one. I'll just take one for now. This over here is one of my coolest tomato. It looks like a cherry, and it is a type of cherry. This is called the black vernissage, which is a variety from up in the Ukraine. And it's not entirely black. It's closer to like a purple. And vernissage is normally something to do with something artistic, and this does look like an artistic piece, like designed very well. The green into the dark red / purple. It's a really cool variety. I'll take a few more. Again, it looks pretty much like a cherry. I've seen these. If you all have looked at one of my first tomato tours, you would have seen this before. So I've tasted it before. It's a little bit tangy, but I like tangy. As opposed to sweet like most of the cherries, but we'll see what it tastes like today. Now, I don't know how many of you would have ever seen an orange tomato before. If you looked at my last tomato tour from almost like a year and a half ago, you'd have seen this before. This is called the big rainbow tomato. Before it gets to this point of ripeness, it usually has little streaks of green, and it still does. Maybe you can see like little streaks of green in it, but it's mostly orange / yellow, depending on the light that you look at it from. This is the first one that formed on the vine. So you see I covered it with the bag to protect it. I'm just going to take this off. There we go. This is grown from my own seed, from the same ones that I had in that previous video. So it's really good to grow something from seeds that you saved. That's the idea and the essence of being self-sustainable. So I didn't need any outside interference to grow this food. It usually can get bigger than this. This feels like just under £1/4 pound, but it's a really nice, cool looking and also cool tasting tomato. So ripe it is. It's getting wrinkly on it. This one like started to form a lot earlier than these other two here, and these are already to the point of being ripe. So that's to tell you how ready this one is to be eaten. And the seventh tomato variety, I think, for today, this is the Cherokee Purple. Cherokee Purple has an interesting backstory. It's from the Native Americans teaching the Pilgrims who had settled into the US first. Well, you know, not first, but who had settled into the US, and the Pilgrims taught them how to grow this variety of tomatoes. So it's like every time you eat from this tomato, you're taking a step back into history, which is really cool. You know, these can get bigger. These can get as big as seen as like 2.5 pounds for one. This one is just around £1/4 pound as well, probably because it was grown in this small bucket. And look at how cool the navel of it is. That's really cool. This happens a lot with these heirloom tomatoes, especially these beefsteak varieties. They can happen. Sometimes this is called cat facing, but this doesn't look entirely like a cat face. It might have been. And this like cracks on the top here. It's very common. This is not a fungus or insect or anything. Just very common thing to happen with your Cherokee Purple tomatoes every time this happens. Okay, so the tomatoes are all picked. Time to do some tasting. Okay, so somehow the video that I originally filmed with the taste test got deleted. It was filmed. I watched it over. It was existing. Now it's no longer existing. And you can imagine how much of an unhappy camper I am currently. So I'm not going to do a full taste test for you all. I'm so sorry. I hope I didn't deceive you. That was my plan. I'll just tell you all what my thoughts were about these tomatoes. These here, the first ones would be the cherry that I tested. And the cherry tomato is, as a cherry tomato usually is, super sweet, amazing. You can eat it like candy. So super happy with this one. That's a cherry tomato. The small cherry tomato, it's also really nice. I like it. But if you don't like something that is a little bit tangy, you may not like this tomato. I like it. I think you just pop it into your mouth. Really good. It's a nice mix of sweet and tangy. Tangy being sour. But I like it. So both of these so far, I like it. I'm not going to try this one. This is the Rio Grande. I was fairly disappointed with this tomato. It's nice and meaty. Don't get me wrong, you could probably make a really good sauce with it. It's homegrown, organic, so it's going to taste good no matter what. I just was not blown away by this, and I don't know if I would grow it again unless I had extra space I want to grow something. The money maker, I love the money maker. It surprised me from the first time I tasted it because it's nice and sweet, a little bit of tangy, and it just gives you a nice pop of juice. Like in the actual video which I filmed, I'm not going to do it here because I'm going to make a set of mess in my house, but when you bite into it, the skin is kind of taut, it's kind of tight, so it takes a bit of effort to bite into it, but then once you get in, it's just juices go everywhere, it splashes everywhere. So it's a perfect kind of summer fruit for those of you in a foreign country and you like the idea of a tomato for summer. It's really nice, really refreshing, perfect for like a salad. I really like it. The big rainbow, I was happy with this. This was nice and meaty, not very juicy on the inside, so some of these are more meat than juice. This is definitely a more meaty kind of tomato. I had it last night on a grilled cheese sandwich, not this one obviously, but another one. It was really good. And the black vernissage, right, as I said, I've tasted this before. It was nice, a bit tangy, which they generally are, but super also sweet as well, so nice mix between the two. So these are my cherry, big Rio Grande, black vernissage, small cherry, big rainbow, money maker, Romas. I no longer have any Roma because it tastes so good. I really love the Roma, not very juicy, more meaty kind of tomato. And the one that I would say is my absolute favorite, which I no longer have anymore because it is my absolute favorite, is Cherokee Purple. You grill it on any kind of sandwich, a bit of cheese, it's amazing. So I would say absolute best tomato for me, my favorite tomato for this year so far, the Cherokee Purple, and the one that is at the bottom of the list, the Rio Grande. And the rest of them, very edible, very good, but those are my picks, and I'm really sorry again and the way this video turned out. But of course, remember you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and on Facebook to see more content coming out of Trinidad Gardener's Garden. And remember that you can also tag us on any of those platforms so we can see what's happening in your garden, and hopefully you're having a really good time in your garden right now. There's some rain falling these days, so that's helping us out as gardeners. Remember, as always, this has been the Love and Trinidad Gardeners channel, reminding you to get up and get growing. Take care.